I can't really see but y'all see what I'm trying to do? Like you sitting
Oh,
there
you talking about what you had put in the chat?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of seen
that was just so I have something in my head to play with.
Yeah. I saw that. Earlier.
Snatched one of my daughter's pencils. Ain't no eraser or nothing, so I was just sitting there playing with it.
Yeah. Hold on, y'all. I think we live. The tip battery must have died or something. Child must be still exercising. Hold on, let me see if we live. I think we live. Gonna get this out the way once start. I need to do just like Ben. When he say a time, start on time. I exercise. Yeah, we live. Oh, sure. Facebook. Oh shit, that goes to Charlie. Let me get to Charlie in here. Oh, so Tip just popped back in here.
Yeah, I can hear now.
Oh, okay.
I think I was on my end.
Yeah. Now, come join. Hold on, we finna get started in a minute, man. We live now, just trying to, oh shoot. Shit. What the hell going on? What's going on with damn, I ain't trying to do that in. Let's shit. Five folks in there. Hold on, y'all. Share the groups. All right. Oh, that went high out there. I ain't mean to put that in there, but oh well. Damn, good. Let me get started, man. Y'all share the show too, man. Ooh, wait, that wind high out there. Damn. All right, let me go back in. All right. Peace. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. What's up, brother Chavis? Peace, 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 brother Chavis. Y'all like the show and share the show. First I want to say ETM Hotep, Dua Duau, Dua Aku, Dua Necha, Fatmu Alafiye, Fatmu Riri, Majuba Iba E Egungun, Majuba Iba E Egungun, Majuba Iba Lakba, Egungun Kiki Egungun. I always want to give honor and praises to the ancestors, because without the ancestors, we wouldn't be here. We are our ancestors. I want to say welcome back to Mossi Warrior Clan YouTube channel. I am Kofi Piesie. We got brother Satepanra Mary Armin, Vasa Nicolo Gullah, and my brother Sutek on the panel. Y'all got anything, man, before T'Challa was in here? Y'all got anything, man, before I start sharing my screen?
Peace to the panel, peace to the audience. Interesting to see what's going on. Who's presenting today?
I am. We
Okay.
on Mossi. Yeah, we on the Mossi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Peace, everybody.
Yeah, say Lafayette knee. Peace to the chat. Peace to everybody that come back and see this in the archive. Like and share the show and prepare yourself to learn something new.
Hold on, let me before I get started, being tomorrow, I'm doing a secret presentation today. Ain't nobody doing no secret presentation. Hold on, y'all. I'm finna get started. Give me just a sec. Damn. Did it send? Damn. Hold on, y'all. Let me put this thing in here. Ben think I'm doing a secret presentation today. I'm trying to forward the darn thing. My Facebook stuff been tripping today, man. Okay. Let's see if it's sent over there. Yeah. Let's see if he gonna he fussing. Let's see if he gonna join the panel. Yeah. But yeah, man. Shoot, Satep, you got anything, man? Peace, brother Zane. Satep, you say anything, Satep? Or your thing still messed up?
Nah, I'm good. Yeah, I just want to say peace to the chat. Peace to everybody on the panel. Enjoy this presentation right here. We got some big news, huh, Kofi?
Yeah, we ain't gonna get it to him until the next show.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, I see people coming in. Peace, brother Zane. Peace, brother Robert. Rand. Peace. I already said peace, Chavez, but peace. And I just like Chavez' name. Tip Hesses. How Hotep Habsheptu Him Sawet. I know I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Today's presentation is called Kofi Piesie Presents the Himba Women. I think the women appreciate this presentation as well as the men appreciate this presentation. Hold on, I wanna let me see if I could turn my what's the name? Let me see. My camera. Give me 1 second, y'all. I wanna turn my camera off. There it is. Stop camera. All right, so I can see better. Let me do my big screen. Peace, everything is everything. Y'all let me know when my screen is full screen. I don't know. I hope. Is it full screen, y'all? In the chat.
Man,
It's full screen, you say?
Yeah, it's full screen now.
Okay. All right. Well, today's presentation again is called Kofi Piesie Presents the Himba Women. I think y'all all going to enjoy this presentation. Y'all let me if anybody else pop in, Shawn or Ben pop in. Uh, but, but I always have to put a disclaimer out here before I get started. My disclaimer is I am not a teacher, but merely a student sharing information, and that information provided is for the educational purpose only. And if you are in doubt, do the research and have it verified by someone qualified. I reserve the right to change the focus of this presentation to shut down uh, to shut down, sell, or exchange the terms in my own use or discretion. All trademark, design rights, copyrights, registered names, mottos, logos, avatars, sigmas, marks are used or cited by this website for the property of respected owner. I reserve the right to add information as it comes available in the future, or adapt changes, improve information as it comes available in the future. Influence wanted changes, or deletions are encouraged. Everybody that's been following me for the past three years know that this is my saying. I believe in this saying. I stand by this saying, and I demonstrate this saying all the time. As I learn, we all learn. And let's get this culture. This is another saying I came up with in of last year, and Mossi Warrior Clan, Kofi Piesie TV. We're going to continue to reacclimate you back into your culture. This is my new saying, which I think is a great saying as well. We must not let our ancestors down. I'm gonna say that again. We must not let our ancestors down. I know I'm not gonna let my ancestors down. I know y'all not gonna let them down either. But before I begin this presentation, I ask that men tune in live now, and those who watching in the archives to have some discipline. We must keep in mind that Africa is a hot climate, and in some societies, lots of clothing is not necessary. Now, with that said, family, Mossi Warrior Clan up, spells are flying, and pseudos are crying. I have to put that out there because it's I'm asking that the men have discipline, because it's um these this particular tribe have on less clothes than other tribes. So please have some discipline. In the Himba are respected and lived according to their traditions and their ancestors. The Himbas um, still are living according to their traditions and their culture. The friendly and extraordinary Himba people are closely related to the hero people, but they have resisted change and preserved their unique culture heritage. About 240,000, and I might be pronouncing this tribe wrong, is hero people lived in Namibia, Botswana, and Angola. They belong to the Bantu group in Africa. So the Himba people, before we go any further, they belong to this group of people. The first settlement of the Himba people can be traced back to the early the 16th century when they crossed the Angola border and chosen the Kako land, nowadays called Kanuno regions, as their new homeland. At the time, the word Himba did not exist because they had not yet separated themselves from the Hero tribe. So initially, the Himba people comes from this group of people, but then they became their own group of people as they separated later on in time. At the end of the 19th century, Namibia was plagued by a relentless vulnerable epidemic. Most of the cattle that the Hero depended on perished, and the tribe faced great crisis. Subsequently, the tribe moved south and started exploring different regions to enhance their changes and survival. Still, some members decided to stay, rather struggle for survival in familiar territory. So you can see some type of crisis that took place. So some of the tribes moved south, and some started to explore different regions in the hands of their survival. Some of the members decided to stay. So some of the people we talking about where the Himba originated from, the Hero tribe, some of the people stayed in that particular region and roughed it out for survival, and some of the people moved southward and went elsewhere. Then there was a schism between the two tribes because of reality, and the Himba identity became into being. Because of these events, they were called the Tejimba and derived from the word meaning Adavar, the animals that dig for its food, freely translated from the Atharahidro language. The word Himba means bagger. Why did they inherit the somewhat derogatory name? Where after the schism, many of those that remained roamed the vast Kiko land and search of cattle, crops, asking others for the tribe members for help. So you can see that the hero people during this crises, cattle and everything started to die. People started to move elsewhere for survival. So you had one group of people that said they was going to stay and try to survive, and that birthed the Himba people. The Himba supreme being is called Makuru. Their way they communicated with their gods is through fire. The smoke of the fire rise toward the sky, which enables them to communicate with their ancestors who stand in direct contact with the supreme being. The ritual fire is called the Akururu. The fire provides contact between the living and the dead. Hold on, y'all. Just making sure. Y'all let me know if anybody else come back in there. The ritual fire is called the Akuru. The fire provides contact between the living and the dead, which is necessary for harmonious living and keeping the ancestors happy. In every village, you will find the fire smolder while next to some logs in the woods or outsiders, or you have not yet been invited into the village. The holy line starts from the main entrance of the chief huts and goes straight past the fire to entrance the cattle's insurance. So you can see that they communicate with their deity Makuru through fire. So there's always a constant fire and smoke that is rise toward the sky. So the ancestors is the intermediary between the supreme deity and they contact the ancestors through the direct fire. Clothes, hairstyles, and jewelries are all particularly significant to the Himbas and part of their traditions and cultures. Even newborn babies are adorned with pearl necks. When the children are little older, bangles made, beaten coppers, and shells are added. The proud Himba women take several hours for beauty care every morning. The entire body is rubbed with a cream which consists of a russet butter and orchard powder. Here is some of the jewelry that some of these Himba women wear. They take pride in beautifying themselves every morning with a so they rub themselves. We'll get into this certain particular cream that they use, particular cream that they use on their hair, and the jewelry that they like to decorate themselves with. Here's another piece of jewelry that these Himba women wear also. Here is another style of jewelry that they decorate themselves with right here, these Himba women. Here is another Himba, this is a young girl right here. And I know this is a young girl because of the two braids in the front. The two braids in the front, which we'll talk about in another slide, what those two braids represent. But people who have already probably read my article about beautiful African hair, and let's stop using the other N word. I already know the significance of the two braids that this young lady is wearing in the front of her head. It signifies something. We'll talk about that later on in the presentation. Red orchard cream that the Himbas are famous for is made by pounding the orchard stones, hametis, into small pieces. The arjutsi are a mixture of butterfat and orchard that is rubbed regular onto the women's skin. It is also used in their long plaited hair. In there are red lands where water is scarce, the Himba seldom wash with water. The mixture severe to protect and scent clean the skin and hair, and as well as enhance to their appearance. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. the men use more water than particularly the women use. So the women does other things for their hygiene. And we'll talk about what they use in order for their hygiene. And again, every morning that they wake up, they rub this particular red archer onto their skin. It gives off a certain type of scent, and it also protect them from the sun UV rays. So it's some type of sunblock also, because again, this particular tribe here doesn't wear a lot of clothing. And this is the cream that they rub, on their body, the cream that they rub into their locks or their braids. And a lot of them are braids, but it looks more like locks once they put this red archer cream into their hair. And this particular hairstyle here is also, it represents something. Matter of fact, let me ask while we got here, while we got people on here. All right, I showed a picture of, and just to see if people just been checking out my work. This picture here, I said this is a young lady right here, and this is a young female right here. And I know this is a young female by the two plaits that is in front of the head, this young young child. And this two plaits signifies something. And this hairstyle to the back, it signifies something. And I'm gonna talk about it in another slide, but I want to see who in the chat can tell me what do these two hairstyles signify. The two braids in the front that the young Himba child I showed you, and this young lady right here with her hair straight to the back with that red archer in her hair. What is the two when you see these two particular hairstyles, what is the status of these two women? There's three different statuses, particularly when it's dealing with the Himba hair. I'm just being curious to see if anybody done read my article, The Beautiful African Hair. Let's stop using the N-word. I know the styles is for the girls, but I want my hat like that. I want my hair like that. Yeah, that's for the style. I mean, but I'm saying the status. And I broke these statuses down. A lot of them, and the Himbas was one of the women's tribe that I had in the article that I read. So I guess ain't nobody done read my article. The two hairstyles, the one in the front, should I go back before I start? The two in the front braids, I know this is a woman. I know this is not a boy. I know this is a woman. I mean, this is a young lady. And this status with the two braids in the front, okay, all right. Brother Zane, he said it represents puberty. Okay, it represents puberty. He has a question. So this signifies the status of puberty. She is a young child. She is not recognized as an adult yet. So she has not been through her rites of passage. So she has not, so she's not recognized to her society as an adult. So this represents puberty stage for this young lady here. So when we get to this status right here, this status with the hair to the back, it represents that she is now recognized as an adult. So she has went through her rites of passages and she is interested in being married. So this status is adulthood, and I am interested in being married. I'm not married. She is not married yet. So it's letting you know that she is in a status of adulthood. She's interested in being married, and she's not married, just to these two hairstyles. So if I was to walk in Namibia and walk upon these Himba women, and I would see a young child, say, okay, well, I know this is a young female here because of the two braids, because the boys wear their hair either with the side lock, like you see in Kofit, you'll see Haru with these with the side lock. And in Namibia, the boys wear the same lock. They wear the lock on the side of their hair, the one braided lock on the side, or they wear the straight one lock that braided to the back. So I would know this was a young boy in puberty status. But going back to the women, again, the two braids represents the young lady who has not been recognized as an adult yet she's still in puberty stage. And this style here with the hair to the back represents adulthood. She's interested in marriage and she's not married. So I would know if I came upon her, if I was interested in her, I could approach her, you know, and strike a conversation, tell her maybe I'm interested in her, blase, blase, whatever the case may be, because I know that she's not married. But we'll talk about that. And well, we might as well. And here with these beautiful Himba women, here, if I was to stumble upon these women here, I would know that these women are married. They have their locks or braids to the back, but they have on this particular type of headdress. So this would let me know right now that these women are married. These women are married because they have on the Irimbi. The Irimbi crown represents marital status. So again, if you approach a young Himba woman with two plaits in the front of her head, you will know that this is a woman. Again, the young boys will wear a one braided lock to the side, like you see depictions on the wall in Kemet Haru with the one plait or braid, and the young girls will wear the two braids in the front of their head. Also, only with the two braids, you will also, I think I have a picture on here, you will see that the girls will have the locks like a veil in front of her face. So you will also know, and I think I have a picture here next with that. But here with the braids to the back, you know that this girl it has reached adulthood and she's interested in marriage and she's not married. And then if you walk amongst these women with these headdress on called the Irimbi, then you will know that these women are already taken. They are married. And the other picture I thought I had on here would be of these same particular locks of another young lady. She wouldn't have the two braids in front of her head. She would have the braids reversed in front of her face like a veil. So this veil, you would know that she is in puberty. She's in puberty stage, and she is not recognized as an adult yet in her society or her community. Here I talked about in a previous slide, where early on that we talked about that the Himba people was a part of the Hiru people, and a particular area that they was in, a certain crisis took place where food became scarce, animals and such began to die. So the people started to scatter into other places in order for them to survive. But you had one group of people who stayed in this particular place and tried to rough it out, tried to thug it out, which birthed the identity of the Himba people. So water was scarce also. So men bathed and the women took other precautions for hygiene. One was this red archer cream that you see on these Himba women. And you see this particular woman here, she's using smoke. You see, she's using smoke, and we'll get into why this lady here, which she's also married, because you also can see the braids or the dreads to the back, and she has on a headdress that represents she is married, the Irimbi crown. But she is using smoke, where this smoke here is basically for perfume. They use certain herbs that they smash and crush, and then they burn to also give off this perfume scent. So she's actually, we can say that she's putting perfume onto her body. The Himba believe that the red archer is beautiful. It also symbolizes the meaning as a unit, that red archer of earth and blood, which is a symbolic of life. So most of these women that you encounter has this red archer cream on their body. And again, the red cream, it also gives off a scent. This red cream also protects them from the UV rays of the sun because it is hot over there. So you can say it represents some types of sunblock, but they also put it on because they say it represents the earth, and it represents blood, which blood is symbolic to life. And they also put this red archer into their hair. All right. Before reaching puberty, girls have only two hair braids, which I described already. After the puberty, they are allowed to make more of them. Single Himba men have only one braid backwards from the crown of the head, and when they get married, they keep their hair tied in a shape of a turban. I don't know if I have a picture of that on here, but for those who read my article, I talk about these people in the article, as well as other different ethnic groups in Africa. But you have them again. This is a female because she has the two braids in the front. And I may have a picture of the veil. They also, girls are in puberty. They have the braids in front of their heads, more braids that looks like a veil, which also will lets me know that she's in puberty status. She has not became an adult um yet. Here is a picture here of a young girl here with the two braids in the front of her hair, and this may be her mother in the back. You can see uh a young child here, but this may, like I said, this may be her mother here. I know this, she's married. She's of marriage status, and she has been recognized as an adult because of the hairstyle and the Irimbi hairpiece that she has on her head. All right, here is the other picture of the Himba girl. So we see the two braids, right? So here is another style that they wear that represents puberty status and not an adult status yet, is what they call the veil hairdo, where the hair is over the face, which is covering the face. The braids are in reverse with this red archer. The dreads are in reverse with the archer, which also represents puberty as well. Bathing in smoke. One of the most remarkable Himba traits is that the women are not allowed to use water for washing. This implies themselves and also their clothes. Again, according to the elders, this dates back to the great droughts where water was scarce. And again, we're talking about these things was picked up. The Himba identity was identified or was birthed after certain catastrophic events happen or certain crises happen in a particular region that they was in. Again, they was a part of the hero, if I'm pronouncing the right people. And due to certain catastrophic events and crises that happened, it was a split, it was a schism. So a lot of people headed other places and migrated into other places because cattle became scarce, food became scarce, water became scarce, and the Himba people, they thugged it out. And this would identify, this was the birth of the Himba people. And so doing it, certain customs was picked up now because the identity, a new people was actually birthed. So a new people was actually birthed and new customs was actually birthed. So again, water was scarce because of the drought, because of the different crises, and it was a schism that split them from a group that they was that birthed the Himba people. So according to the elders, the day back to the great droughts where water was scarce, and only men was allowed access to water for a washing process. Apart from applying red archer onto their skin, Himba women do take their daily smoke baths to maintain personal hygiene. They put some smoldering charcoals into a little bowl of herbs, mostly leaves and a little branches of Kamiforo trees, and wait for the smoke to ascend. After they bow over the smoke bowl, and due to the heat, they will start perspiring from the full body wash. They're covering themselves with a blanket so that the smoke gets trapped underneath the fabric. So this is how the Himba people or the Himba women bathe. And again, this custom came because of the different catastrophic events and the crises that took place during this split, them which birthed the Himba people. So you can see a picture here on the right where they're beginning to take, where they're using smoke. The Himba women also girls also like to use perfume and themselves. And this actually is not them actually taking the bath because they are in a certain position and when they're taking these smoke baths, but and they also, again, like I said, they use different types of herbs for the perfume for perfume. So I showed you an earlier picture of the Himba woman with a bowl, with a cup in her hand, and smoke was illuminating onto her body, and it gives off a certain type of scent. So we can say that she was putting on a certain type of perfume. So, and then in the morning they gets up and they take pride in hygiene. They take pride in beautifying themselves. So every morning they get up, you know, they apply this red orchid onto the skin. When they take smoke baths, they apply this red orchid onto the skin, and they apply this smoke perfume onto the body, and they groom their hair and they decorate themselves with certain types of jewelry that I showed earlier. So the Himba women and girls also like perfume. Hold on, let me make sure ain't nobody else came in here. Okay, all right. The like perfume themselves in the morning ritual. So this is a ritual every morning for them. They take they apply this smoke perfume. They collect emeraldic trees roots, which they mix with herbs, crushing them together using a hot stone and then burning them to create heavy perfume smoke. They sit very close to the fire, covering themselves with a blanket to absorb the scent. The Himba women enjoying the Jonjo dance. The on the Jonjo, the on let me see if I can pronounce this. The on did Django, the Anjango dance is a classical courting dance. A participant assumes the role of oxen and herds with the views of figurative hunting down perspectives. Hold on, let me get Bean in here. Somebody let Bean, okay, he's raising his hand. Hold on, y'all. You in here, Ben? Brother Ben. Is Ben in here, y'all?
Yeah, I'm in here.
Oh, okay, because I'm gonna talk bad about you. You talking about a secret link, I had a secret presentation, and then you ain't jump in here. Yeah. But the assume the roles of oxen, herds, and views and figurative hunting down prospective partners. Standing in a semicircle facing a line of men, the women clap and chant while one of them dance in the center of the manner of favorite cow Namibia. So this is a particular courting dance that they does. And what does this put y'all in the mind of? I'm gonna ask y'all, and I'm asking questions today. I'm just trying to make sure y'all reading the articles, y'all looking at the content on the Mossi Warrior Clan channel and Kofi Piesie TV. This particular dance, it's in both presentations that I did are on Mossi Warrior Clan channel, and this dance resembles what group of people? I give y'all, they come from out of the Sudan, or they come from out of the Sudan. Let's see, can y'all guess what that is? The people in the chat. And I know, you know, they might tell me, they may not. I know it's a delay. If it ain't, I'm just asking questions to see if y'all be paying attention when we be presenting information. Well, anyway, I don't see anybody answering it. It put you in the this is familiar. If you look at the Karo people, I did 2 presentations on this channel. I did Welcome to the Omo Valley with the Karo people, and I did another presentation, Welcome Back to the Omo Valley, with the Hamra people. And when you look at the Karo people does this same particular dance where when they reach adulthood and they have certain events that goes on. They gather in a circle. You have the men and the women that gathers in a circle. And the Cairo people, the men will jump up and down and they will bounce and in a circle, and then they will bounce and jump in front and do certain things. And a woman that they are interested in, letting them know that they are interested in this particular woman that's in this circle. So you can see that the Cairo people, not the Cairo people, but the Himba people has this same type of tradition where they get together in a circle and they dance. It's like a courting dance and showing who they are interested in. And we know that these people we know that the women is of age because of the hairstyle that they are wearing. The dreads that are to the somebody got some? Oh. So you can see the dreads are to the back, letting you know that she is an adult and she has been recognized by her community as an adult, and she is interested in getting married and she's not married. And again, those that are married, they wear a headdress called the Hirimbi headdress. So that lets you know that this woman is taken. In the center of the village, it is a pen where young cattle, sheep, and goats are held, while more mature animals are left to roam and perforate. Every morning after the women have applied their artusi, and that's the red archer that they put on their skin. Again, every morning these women, they take pride in beautifying themselves. So they take smoke baths, they apply smoke perfume, they put on this red archer onto their bodies, red archer onto their braids or their dreadlocks, and onto their body. So this is the first thing that they do when they get it up. Then they milk the cattle before the young men in the village leads them out to graze. If there is nowhere to graze, the village may relocate, or the young men sets up a temporary village with their stocks. You can see the similarities here with the Hamra people and with the Cairo people. They do the exact same thing. Here is one of the beautiful Hamra women tending to the cattle. The Himbas are polygamous, which I should say polygyny. And I didn't change that. I should have changed that. Again, for those that want more understanding of that, on this channel, you can go back in the archives. I did a whole presentation on, I don't know the name of it, but it's dealing with polygyny, not polygamy, but polygyny in Africa. And I explained the difference between polygyny and polygamy in that presentation. And I explained at a particular time in history, why did they marry 3 or 4 wives? And again, in most African cultures, in most African culture, there was more women than men. So the women outnumbered the men 10 to 1. And they wanted to be fair with land and etc. Everybody have an equal share and equal opportunity. And also polygyny also represents wealth, because we understand that children are an asset to not only the family, but the extended family as well as the community. So the more children you have and the more wives that you have, you are able to provide. And in African culture, they understand that, we say this all the time, teams win. So they understand when, 2 hands or 4 hands or 6 hands are better than 2 hands. But again, y'all can go to on this channel and check out that. Like I said, I can't remember the name of it is, but I go through everything on there. The men are often away tending to the cattle and outposts where they might have another wife or partner, or may even go to town to find work. And as a result, many women stay permanently in their traditional village, conducting their daily activities without the involvement of men. And many of them raise their children without fathers, but with a support of other women. it was the result of a strong sense of womanhood among the Himba women. Here is just another picture of the Himba women, them all coming together, and it takes what is the saying? It takes a village. It takes a village to raise a family. So it's just a group of Himba women coming together. You can see some of the Himba women and the children. Although it's constantly jeopardized by development, including proposed hydroelectronic projects, many Himbas lead to the traditional lifestyle that has remained unchanged in generations. Surviving war and droughts, the Himbas are open to outsiders coming to witness their way of life, but ask for a contribution for visitors in return in this gaze maze, coffee, teas, cooking oils, a $25 donation. So they also make money by taking pictures, tourism, people coming in, the tourists coming in, and everything. So this is two Himba people, two Himba women, and a tourist. Here is a picture of a Himba woman here, and she is cooking up porridge. They eat meat, but they live mostly off of porridge, which is consists of water, flour, and oil. So this is what most of their food regimen is, this type of porridge. So you can see this Himba woman is cooking up porridge for her child. Here is another woman. Here you can see the porridge is actually done here in the pot here. And again, they eat meat, but most of their diet consists of this porridge, which consists of water, flour, or maize, and some type of oil. This here, remember I was telling y'all about the hairstyles. And I know if I came in front of a young woman, I would know this was a young child because of the two braids that would be in the front of her head, or the 4 or 5 braids or dreadlocks that's in reverse in front of her head that looks like a veil. So I would know that these are young women, young girls, and not boys. And I would know that they are they are a puberty status. They has not been recognized as a woman to their society. And I also talks about the Nimble men. Their hairstyle would be a dreadlock or a braid to the left. And the same way as you look on the walls in Kemet, you see Haru with this Haru lock, which which term was coined by the Egyptologists. But the Haru lock, or the one plait on the side, I would know that this is a young man with the plait on the side, or the reverse plait going to the back. This is a young man. He has not reached an adulthood, and I know he has not reached adulthood. And I think I had a picture on here. This is a picture of a young boy here with the with the one braid. And this here, if I was an adult, I would know this was an adult because they wear wraps or scarves on their heads, and their hair is unbraided. But I talk about this in the article, my article, Beautiful African Hair, and let's stop using the N word. And I actually show you another picture side by side of the unbraided hair and the head wrap. So I would know that this was a young man who has been recognized as an adult in his community because of the certain wrap that he has on his head, and his hair is no longer braided. And this here is just an elder here with the children. Here is another little young girl right here, and again, a lot of the women, they tend to the cattle, the cows and the sheep. So here's another little young lady here with the two braids in front of her head here. Here is a headdress here. She has not been married yet, but she's on her way to be married again. We would know that she's married if she had the Irimbi headdress on her head. It's a particular thing that I showed earlier that sits up on top of the dreads. But this here is this is a wedding headdress. So she's gonna get ready to get married here. the Aku Jipipsi Ikun Omu Kazindu, and I'm turning it up. It is a practice in common among the Ovo Himba or the Ovo Zimba tribes in the Kinu or the Pusate region, nomadic tribes in Namibia. Thanks for watching and learning about the beautiful women in Himba. Again, this wasn't a long presentation, but I've been talking about the Himba people for a while, especially when I did Welcome Back to the Omo Valley with the Hamra people. They really resemble the Himba people really resemble the Hamra people, and sometimes you can get them mixed up. The hairstyles are the same, mostly the same, but they the Hamra people, they also wear the red archer, but they also have these small, tiny dreadlocks in their hair. Here are my sources here. I'll keep it paused for a minute. Again, like I said, I have no problem with you going through my sources, combing through my sources, scrutinizing my sources. Anybody got anything on the panel? Anybody in the chat? I ain't even looked in the chat to see if anybody had any questions in there. Got the key to my beam. Look at it. Anybody on the panel got anything?
I can't see the chat, but is those other headdresses, are those Ikoris, if I'm saying it right? Ekori headdresses?
What other headdresses? I only showed the
the ones that's not the, the one that's not the wedding one.
Which one's not the way? I ain't show none with no wedding. See, these here that I'm showing where here, these are styles. It's called the Irimbi. E-R-E-M-B.
No, not the hairstyle, the headdress.
That's it right there. I'm showing it to you right here. You see my cursor?
Yeah, I see it now.
Those are the headdresses right there. You would know that these particular ones. Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying okay.
Oh, okay. I thought you said something. Yeah. And I showed this one here. This is a headdress
yeah,
for
that's
the
the one
marriage
I was
ceremony.
thinking of.
Yeah, I don't know. That might be what it is. I don't know the name. I forgot the name of this headdress, but this is the headdress that they wear in their wedding ceremony here.
Write that down. Ekori.
Hold on.
I think that might be it.
EK what?
Ori.
No, it might be. That don't look familiar to me. I had to see because I forgot what it was. But yeah, man. Anybody in the chat got any let me start sharing my screen. Damn. Hold on, y'all. All right, start sharing my screen. So anybody in the chat, man, anybody on the panel got anything, man, or any questions about the presentation?
Shawn said, who was that white dude?
He is a tourist, Shawn. That's how they make some of their money, by the tourists coming in and taking pictures with the tourists. That's who that white man is. Ben, you got your mic unmuted.
So back to those smoke.
Good presentation, brother.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Back to those smoke baths. They smoking themselves in myrrh or frankincense, basically.
Yeah, frankincense. Some type of tree root. I forgot the name. I showed it on the slide. Some type of tree root that they use to take a smoke bath. So they would be in a certain type of position and take a smoke bath, and then they would take a blanket and wrap themselves up in there so the smoke can't get out, and smoke themselves. And again, this smoke. You got something, Ben?
Man, that's crazy because I was on Instagram earlier. I saw a brother doing that exact same thing, and he said his African mother taught him how to do this.
Yeah. But the men, go ahead.
He was doing it, I don't know if he was doing it because of what's going on now or not, but that's what he was doing. He got a big pot. I don't know what he had in the pot, but he put a blanket over himself, kind of encased himself over the pot. It was just smoking.
Yep. That's what they do. And Yehudi said, Kofi, are the men allowed to bathe in water? Yes, they was allowed to bathe in water. See, what happened was the Himba people got their own identity. At first, the Himba people was a part of the, and I might be saying it wrong, Heru people, Heroreo people, and this who they were. And at a particular time in Namibia, a certain area that they was in, certain catastrophic events happened, certain type of crises happened. So it was scarce of water, there was scarce of food. Cattle began, they got scarce of cattle. Cattle began to die. So during that era, a lot of the hero people moved. And again, excuse me if I'm pronouncing these people name wrong. Again, is I think it's Heroe. And these people started to go southward because they wanted to try to survive. So they went other places to try to survive. But a lot of them stayed, and like we say, they tried to thug it out, you know what I'm saying? So and so this birthed the identity of the Himba people, and it birthed other different customs, because when you look and you study traditions and customs in Africa, even though they are the same, they are different, and it all depends on what geographical location you in, what are your circumstances in a geographical location may birth, certain type of customs. So it birthed different customs, and water became scarce, where the men was able to take a bath because the men stayed gone longer. The men went out, hunted, got jobs, they did other types of things, work, and they stayed gone a lot. And the women tended to the cattle a lot. Even when you study polygamy in African culture, you will see that the men, they stayed gone, they supervised, they organized certain things, they stayed gone, and the women was kind of the CEOs of the farms. So they was over the farms where they planted, they tended to the cows, the the cows, the goats, or whatever they had on these particular farms. So the men, yes, was allowed to bathe in water, and the women, because of the scarce of water, picked up a custom of bathing in smoke and applying in red ochre, because when you look and encounter the men does not wear this red ochre on the skin. It's only the women that has this red ochre on the skin. And the red ochre, again, for them, it symbolizes blood, which blood symbolizes life, and it symbolizes the earth as well to them, because the earth sustains them. You know what I'm saying? They're able to live through the earth by foods, able to grow food out of the earth, and etc. So they, so it symbolizes all that, but it also served as a scent or a fragrant, and it also served as a sunblock, because a lot of these women did not wear, and it wasn't just the men, women, it was the men. They didn't wear a lot of clothing. That's why when I first started it off, I asked all the men that's watching now or watching in the archives later, have some discipline. Don't be talking about boobies and such and such. So just kind of have some discipline. So they wore this red archer on them, and then they used other herbs, and they applied a perfume. I call it smoke perfume. I showed two pictures of women. Well, one woman with a cup, and she was holding the smoke while the smoke was getting over her body. Then I showed another group of females in the morning time. They was all in this one hut, and they had a pot, and they was close to it. And as the scent was smoking, getting on them, it also gave them this certain type of good smelling fragrance. So these women did practice hygiene. They did take pride in their appearance. I showed you, every morning. This was before they went and tend to the cattle or whatever they had to do. they made sure that they was right before they got out there and they did whatever they had to do. What you got, Tyler?
First of all, peace to everybody. Excuse me, being out of breath, just trying to stay in shape over here. So I just wanted to bring out the point of there's this stereotype and this misconception that you always speak on, Brother Kofi, about our people on the continent being dirty or being stinky, smelly Africans, right?
Mhm.
And it's so degrading and disrespectful because even when we think of cleansing, the only way we know how to cleanse here in America and in the West is water. And so, I learned something today in terms of, it's always more than one way to do something. You know what I'm saying? So you don't necessarily have to utilize water. And then even those that choose not to utilize water is for a specific reason. And I think that that speaks to our culture as Africans and the diaspora globally, is that we have purpose for things that we do. Not all the time we do things arbitrarily like a lot of people think. In fact, most of the times we have reasons to do certain things. And I just think that it was real important in your presentation how you showed how the women have their culture within the society and the men have their culture based on factors in their environment, and they adapted and learned how to live based on that lack of water and that drought. And I think that's real important to highlight what African people do. We're going to adapt and we're going to get through whatever hardships that we have. So that was all I
Yeah,
wanted.
yeah, good assessment. Yeah, you right.
And another thing to add to it is look how things are worded as well when we are picking up information and who worded it. And I say that to say, if you say they bathed in smoke, yeah, that's going to catch people's attention. But when you say things like the women bathed themselves in incense, they bathed themselves in frankincense and myrrh, what kind of perception does that make? Do you get where I'm going? And it almost sounds biblical in a sense, especially from an Americanized view, to say it that way. You take it from something being taboo and strange to something that can be very, very well perceived as a beautiful thing as well.
Yep. Yep. And then they was able to I like them too because they was able to keep their traditions and their customs intact. So when me studying them, I don't see them being Christians. I don't see them being I don't see them being Muslims. They being nothing more than, nothing more than themselves.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, you can tell Kofi don't take no foolishness in his class. I wouldn't be scared of the class. Oh, I'm trying to see if anybody else got any comments, questions, concerns. These pictures are dope. Sound like the women over here. He stole from me. What I stole from you, Shawn? Shawn always talking about somebody stealing something from me. What I done stole now, Shawn? God damn. Himbos who got the keys to my beamer. I don't see any more questions in here. Hold on, I'm late. Please excuse me. I have a question. Is this tribe that has red clay like locks? Yes, this is the tribe that has, but this is not the only tribe that has it. If you look at the Gullah Juice, I don't know if you still on here or not. I'm sorry. I will most of the time when I'm presenting, I don't really look in the chat that much until after I get to presenting to see if anybody got questions. Um, yeah, they have. This not the only tribe. Again, if you look at the Hammer people, that's Hamar. Is in the Omo Valley. They are very familiar to these people. Their culture is very it's similar. It's similar. So they wear the archer red archer in their hair as well. They have the big dreadlocks, but most of them, the Hammer people, you will see them with the dreadlocks, but they are lit small, neat dreads in their hair. So you see the Himba and the Hammer people with that. And again, like I said, if you're interested in them, you can go back in the archives later on this channel and look at that presentation. It's called Welcome Back to the Omo Valley with the Hammer people. And if you want to look at the part one, I got a part one, not with the Hammer. It's called the Caro. Welcome to the Omo Valley with the Caro people. Go ahead, Ben.
Hey, I don't. If you covered this in your presentation, forgive me. There's a video on YouTube. I don't know what this particular white woman's occupation was, but she went to visit and live with the Himba women, and she was trying to connect with them. And she painted herself in the ochre.
Yeah, go ahead.
And she put, you know, the plaits in her head and everything, trying to connect with these women. And these women laughed at this white woman so viciously. You gotta go look up this video.
Yep.
Because they couldn't understand why she was trying to do what they do. And I mean, they laughed like all day. Like it wasn't just a quick little laugh and they go back to what we were doing. No, they laughed like all day long. And she was keeping like a little video journal. So in the journal, she said, I can still hear their laughs.
Yeah,
and it was night. You seen that one?
Yeah, I seen it. I seen it. Shit. Last year when I was doing the Hammer people, that's how I came up familiar with the Himba people. And I had went and looked at the video on there where like you said, a white woman had them painted herself with the red arch. And did she have? I can't be like last year. Did she have like some? Did she braid her hair up or something?
Yeah. She went all out now.
Yeah,
she went full throttle.
Yep.
Boy, them women laughed at her ass so bad.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh man, that was good to me, boy.
Yeah.
And they was asking her, like, what are you doing? Like, why you dressed like that?
Yep. Yeah, y'all go check that out, man. Green Spirit Studio. What's up, Green Spirit Studio, man? Appreciate your man support, man. He been around for a little bit now. Kofi, what are the health and spiritual properties? Oh my goodness. The red archer does, it has metaphysical higher vibrations, properties, and also how were the women treated as sacred. Okay, as far as metaphysical high vibrations properties, the red arch again, I mentioned it a while ago, and I also talked about it in a couple of slides earlier. I don't know, you might have missed that, but the red archer, it only symbolizes to them, blood. We know blood symbolizes life. It also symbolizes the earth because they understood that earth sustains their survival as well. They was able to plant things into the ground and it was able to grow for their survival. So red archer to them, they wore it because it symbolizes blood and it symbolizes earth. Both symbolizes life. And the red archer was you could say a protection agency, sunblock, if you mistake it. It helps them, to protect them from the UV rays of the sun because it's hot over there. And it was also after they took the smoke bath, they, and then they used the they put on the smoke perfume. They will also put on this red arch, and this red archer also had a elegant or fragrance to it as well to make them smell, good as well. So far as high vibration properties with the red archers, I hadn't I don't know nothing about that. And you said how were the women treated and sacred? The women was treated, they was sacred. It was put on a high pedestal, especially if you study polygyny. If you study polygyny, you will see that a lot of the women were, and by the way, for those that didn't look at it, polygyny and polygamy is two different things. In polygyny, it was not forced on the women. It was the elders. If you look at most of the communities or societies in Africa, which there were many, you had some that didn't practice, but you had many all over Africa in different countries practice this. It was always the elders and the women that came up with this institution. And so the women was very sacred. So they put the women on a high pedestal because they understood that without the women, there would be no generations. And when we go back to marriage, you can't talk about marriage without talking about procreation. And now I'm making a statement, in a particular time, you couldn't talk about marriage and procreation, not talk about polygyny, because a child was not for the woman and the husband. It was for them as well as the community, as well as the extended family. And what I mean by the extended family was the multiple women that the men would marry. Long as he had a bride, long as he had something to offer the bride, he was allowed to marry them, because it was expensive in order to marry, even if he wasn't practicing the institution that they put in place, polygamy. Just being married in general, you had to have something to offer the family, because you have to understand something. The children was an asset to the community as well as the family. So they understood that two hands is better than one. Six hands is better than four hands. So now you are taking my son, you are taking my daughter away from me. So now you are taking food out of the family, the extended family, and the community or society or clan that I belong to. So now you have to replace that. So this is the reason why they give, I can't even escaping my mind what they call it. Shit, y'all help me out. I forgot what it's called, but they give, they give things in form of cattle, because if you had cattle, you was wealthy. If you had cattle, we know they had other forms of currency.
You talking about the dowries?
The
Dowry.
dowry. Yeah, the dowry. So they use dowry. So they had this is the reason why. But y'all gonna get all this information in something that I'm gonna announce on the next show. Something big. I'm gonna show y'all something on the next show, and make an announcement on the next show today. So I hope that answered your question. Yes, they was held sacredly because there would be no generation, and we know that marriage and procreation goes hand in hand. Children was an asset to the extended family, the family, and to the community. And children was you wasn't your marriage wasn't even looked at, or your marriage wasn't accepted by some, not all. It wasn't accepted by some ethnic groups in Africa if you didn't have any children. Okay, you married, but you don't have any children, because again, marriage and procreation is inseparable. You cannot talk about marriage without talking about the other. You cannot talk about procreation without talking about marriage. They are inseparable. So women was held at a sacred level. Zane, he had a question. I don't know what your question was. I would say hello with Shawn. Wouldn't say I'm trolling. Piece of true story. Zane, you said I think I remember that being okay. Yeah, I can't remember. Zane, what was your question? Did you answer my question? I heard Andrew Zimmerman of Bizarre Fools who said this statement in his visit. I don't know what was the question. What did the brother say? I'm sorry, man. I'm trying to get to y'all questions. Um, state your question again, brother Zane. If you still on here, state your question. Brother Vasa, you had something, man, while he trying to
No, not necessarily.
okay, I thought you had some. Green Spirit
I just
Studio.
real
Go ahead.
quick, just to support what you just said, with the procreation and its impact in African societies. If you were a woman that had issues procreating, there were specific medicines made just for that. Specifically rituals made just for that.
Mm-hmm.
Women got, divinations just for that. So it was a very big deal, as you stated earlier, with the procreation aspect of marriage. Women were even shunned at times
Yep.
if they could not, procreate, because, it was such an important facet of the society and the culture, depending on which region. Go ahead, T'Challa.
Just to add to your point, Brother Ben, from the Mandé culture in West Africa, where I mainly study, that's what we call the Modi Bayasa tree. All right. It can be a mango, a big baobab tree. These things can be multiple things, and one of the purposes of the Modi Bayasa tree was for fertility. And so the not that they're called Babalao amongst the Malinke people in the Mandé culture, but the equivalent of what a Babalao would be, right? Would instruct you to for the women to the Modi Bayasa tree was to get over a hardship in life, and when it has finally come to an end, the woman would dance Modi Bayasa. So fertility is definitely a hardship, as you said. You'd be shamed if you could not produce any children, because children have a duty to the village and to the society.
Hey, out of
So I
curiosity,
just wanted to add.
do you know how that tree looks?
I've seen multiple images. So the examples I was given was the equivalent of a species of what would be a baobab tree. Another reference is also being a mango tree. Now, I don't know too much specifics about what fruit.
The reason why I asked, brother, is I saw a tree when I was in Senegal that they said was for fertility. I don't remember the name of it, but it did kind of resemble a smaller baobab tree and had these like green leaves that grew out of it. And the elder was saying that they used those leaves to make some type of medicine to give to the woman. You heard anything like that in your studies?
Exactly. So you would use the Modi Bayasa tree for it. Brother Kofi did an excellent presentation on it being a tree of life, the baobab tree in general, and that's exactly like the Modi Bayasa tree. Like many things in Africa, has many uses. So they would have different herbs and medicines, or herbs that they would turn into medicine to use for fertility and various other reasons, utilizing this tree, because we know trees have multiple functions. So definitely amongst the Malinke, and I can give you like some references as far as where to find the exact Modi Bayasa rhythm. I mean, you can look it up on YouTube, the dance, and that's the purpose of it.
Interesting, very interesting.
Yeah. Let me see something. I'm finna go. What did Brother Zane say? I'm trying to see something real quick. Brother, can one of y'all read his question off?
I can't see the chat because I'm on my phone today.
Hold on. All right.
What you looking for, Brother Kofi?
Brother Zane, he had asked a question, and then I told him to restate the question because I couldn't see it. It got lost in the chat.
From what I see, he says, did they offer tourist young women for marriage? I hope the hell not.
Not that I hadn't seen anything on that. I thought I was thinking he was talking about something else because they have for another familiar thing. Let me go back to the chat. They have something else that I because I did this like 2 weeks ago and I just had it took and I was meaning to go back and add it, and he just made me think about it when just then. They had something else, and that people may not be fond of, that their customs had. They practiced polygyny, but they also had another thing where they would pass their wives off to visitors, if that's what you're talking about, that came into it wasn't a tourist. It may be somebody else that may have came into a visitor that may have came from another place or another country. You know, they just say that they just say I came from Zambia and I came to Namibia, and I claim they're visiting and I may have some certain type of status or whatever the case may be. I may be friends or whatever the case was. I've read where some of their custom was they will pass their wives off to certain men for the night, and they will welcome the men. They will welcome the men their home. So is that what you're talking about, Brother Zane?
Oh,
It wasn't tourists. Yeah, it wasn't
I'll have
tourists.
to bring out the Hall of Notes on that because I can't think of that.
Yeah, so you
No
know.
can do.
So is that what you talking
Just
about,
dropped.
Brother Zane? Huh?
I was just saying, Brother Ben was asking about pictures for the Morty biology. I just did a quick search on the net, and I sent some stuff in our messenger chat, Brother Kofi.
Okay.
I don't know how to put that on there because obviously you the what do you call it, administrator of the Zoom, but those are two different types of trees because
Well,
you got all.
You could have put it in the chat in here. All you gotta do is click the chat button in Zoom, and then at the box on the side to the right will pop up. And if you wanted to put it in there, he could snatch it right on up out of there. And but Brother Zane, you still in here? So he said, okay, is that what you were talking about? It wasn't the tourists, it was visitors, other African ethnic groups that was coming from other places. Now, he's on Jehudi said daughters or wives, not daughters, wives. They would, they would pass their wives off to the visitor, and the husband. Some of the research that I did, the husband would offer the visitor their home, and the husband will sleep outside until the next day.
Oh, man.
Yup.
I got to hear it too? Oh, no.
You got to hear it go down.
I can't go for that. No can do.
Yeah, so
I would be a bad host.
Yeah, and I don't think that it wasn't a must that you had to do this. It was just a custom that some did do. You know what I'm saying? Showing, hospitality and showing hospitality in that way. But this wasn't nothing forced that you had to do from the research that I had. And it wasn't like a whole lot of stuff that I seen on it. But just the lit things that I did see on it, that's what it was. And like I said, I forgot that I wanted to add it, and I actually forgot about it because I did this I think 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I was gonna present it last week, but I didn't. I just hold on to it, and I supposed to went back and added it, but I didn't add that information.
I know why you forgot about it.
No, man, I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna put it in there regardless. I'm not gonna sensationalize nothing. I'm gonna give it all, and that's what I pride on doing. Certain things that we agree, we'll agree, and certain things that we won't agree on. And the things that I agree and the things that I don't agree, I'm still gonna present it. I'm not gonna.
I would have blocked it out of my mind.
I'm not gonna sensationalize it. They always be talking about y'all find all Africans always sensationalize and stuff like it ain't nothing this and that ain't going on or whatever, man.
So do they extend the same hospitality when I go to visit?
They might not go on. They might not. Oh my goodness!
I need the same hospitality now. Don't be trying to renege.
Yeah. And it was just for, it wasn't for the men. Now the woman couldn't do that. She couldn't pass her husband off to the woman, but the man could, pass it off to the visitor. But Zane, I hope that was, did I answer your question? Is that what you was talking about? You probably got that mixed up with tourists. Was it for the people that seem single? Peace, brother Mario Foster. Um, that's why I asked such a question in the first place. Right then. What you mean, Mario Foster? Was it for the people they seem single? Are you talking about passed off? No, this was, like I said, it was like a hospitality thing. You wasn't forced to do it, but I mean it was a part of their custom. If a certain visitor came, a certain visitor, it may be an old childhood friend, it may be someone of a certain status, um, whatever it was. But I mean,
practice Yoruba culture. We just give you some water or something to eat.
yeah. So yeah.
That's it.
So yeah, man. I don't see any more questions in here, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all up, man.
I got a question for Kofi, man. You keep talking about all this polygyny, man. What you trying to tell us?
Oh no, I just wanted people to have understanding. I understand, like, when we talk about polygyny, or even when they mention polygamy, people have, and I understand why. People think when you think of that, you are exploiting, or you're exploiting women, or you exploiting women. You are being you a cheater. You know what I'm saying? You can't commit. You know what I'm saying? You can't commit. And I understand why when we looking at it from our perspective, because we created a culture of pimping. It's we created a culture of pimping where a man could get multiple women and pimp a woman and exploit a woman for sex, you know what I'm saying, in return for money. You know what I'm saying? And we created a culture where men can't commit, you know what I'm saying, and have a child with a woman, and then leave them off to lead the child and lead the woman and go on to the next woman. So I understand when those names are mentioned, those are code words, and it goes off in people's minds. So I understand that. So when I did the thing, I wanted to flip it so you can stop looking at it, and that's what I always say, we got to stop looking at things from a Western perspective and look at it from an African perspective. And the culture that we have here is totally different. And even when I just touched on the time period, because now polygyny is legal, but you don't have a lot of cultures that are practicing polygyny. And I was just trying to highlight and show that the women, it was 10-1 to the men. The women outnumbered the what's the name. And then they, it wasn't about, they didn't look at, everybody had an equal share of everything. Everybody didn't have, hold on. Everybody didn't have, more than everybody else. So, it was on the right for the woman not to inherit everything. So the man could marry multiple women. You know what I'm saying? And with them marrying multiple women, you know what I'm saying? Again, it came with teamwork. They was able to be better providers because now you have more hands. So the children, the wives, the husband now can execute different things or multiple tasks or get multiple things done for them, for the family, for the extended family, and for the community. So it was almost some form of like a business exchange, where everybody can live right. Everybody can live comfortable. Everybody doesn't have more than the next person have. So I wanted to try to highlight some of those things, and it wasn't about somebody shoot, I'm a pimp, I'm a player, because I'm, like I said, that's our culture that we created. That's the dangerous culture that we created over here in America. So I understand that, but this is not what it was over here. So I wanted to comb and highlight all those different things, and then just highlight people say polygamy when it's polygyny. Polygyny is when a man can have multiple wives if he can afford multiple wives. And that's polygyny, a man with multiple wives. But polygamy is a man can have multiple wives and a wife can have multiple husbands. There wasn't an institution set up. So that institution was set up for economics. It was set up for a social, it was set up for a social institution and an economic institution. It was for economic purposes only, while polygyny was put into place. It was not a form of exploiting women or saying you was a player or you was a pimp or you just couldn't commit to one woman. That was not what it was. So that's why I did it. I keep speaking on polygyny because it became an institution of marriage. And then because it was an institution, just like procreation was an institution when it came to marriage. You can't separate them. So I just wanted to try to highlight that so people can have a better understanding and look at it from their perspective and what they was doing and how it was helping them out in this time period. So, and I'm not saying practice polygyny or don't practice polygyny. I'm not, I'm just, just sharing to you why they created this institution and how beneficial it was for them.
I thought you was about to start, man.
Start what?
Practicing.
Oh, hell no, man. Man, when I was putting the presentation together, she was asking me, what in the hell am I doing? What am I talking about? Told me I had to get out of here with that if I try. If I'm
you trying to get thrown out for a presentation.
Yeah, she wasn't trying to hear that shit, man. Sure, what? Excuse me, y'all. Somebody was sharing their screen.
I was gonna show this. I found a picture of the tree I was talking about.
Oh, okay. You can show.
Let me. Shit, which one of these? I'm gonna try this one. Share screen. Am I sharing it?
Yeah, you sharing it. You actually showing the face, the our channel right now, the Mossi. Okay, now I see it.
Can you see?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, so this is the tree. It's on Gory Island, which is the slave dungeon island in Senegal. This picture was taken in 2016. So as you can see, this is the tree that he was talking about for fertility. That they take the fruit and the leaves and make some type of medicine for the woman to take in hopes of conceiving a child.
So big brother Ben, you're of the Sur people, right?
Correct.
So it's interesting because certain rhythms that are played amongst the Malinke, so the Tambacounda region of Senegal, which is the eastern region that borders Guinea, there's a lot of merger there in terms of ideas being, exchanged, trade, and all of that. And a lot of the particular rhythms that are played amongst the Malinke that border that region, a lot of things are transferred back and forth. So it's very possible, you know what I'm saying? So they may use a different tree, but the I've just put it in the chat here, the trees that I was talking about that are found.
Okay.
But some of the ideas are similar, although they may not be the same quote unquote people. Like Brother Kofi said, the ideas and things are similar. Because Senegal has a whole nother deep, rich history, period, like with drumming and everything. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to share.
Okay. Well, shoot, man. Anybody else got anything? And my baby laughing at me, y'all. My baby in the chat. As soon as I start talking about polygyny, she popped right back in the chat.
They know, man. They always know. They always know.
But that's y'all in the chat. That's my fiance, that Nanya Mika Toba, is in the chat. She don't hardly pop in here and watch my stuff. She'll watch everybody else stuff, but she won't watch my stuff. For some reason, she don't support me as much as she support everybody else.
Cause she in the house, she gotta listen to you talk.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
Man, this tree is huge, brother T'Challa. Woo.
Yeah. But shoot, man, again, like I said, man, appreciate y'all for watching. You know, y'all could have been doing anything else with y'all time, but y'all tuned in to see what you know, we had to talk about, man. And so we greatly appreciate your time, cause y'all, I know y'all time is valuable just like our time is valuable. But again, appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you hadn't subscribed to Mossi Warrior Clan YouTube channel, please subscribe. Please hit the notification bell so you can be informed whenever the team go live. You know, y'all won't be able to miss some of these good presentations and good discussions that we have after the presentation as well. We're gonna keep bringing y'all this information. We're gonna continue to give you a great understanding of your culture and your traditions. So again, like I said, please support Kofi Piesie TV channel. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so y'all can be notified when we go live over there. Please subscribe to the Seshuma Ani Meta Nature group. Hit the notification bell so you'll know when we go live over there. Support the other surrounding families, MBK, Black Atheists on Fire, Amin Ra Squad, Media, Dagger Squad, Niger Valley Civilization. Please go subscribe to Brother Sutek. He's a member of the Kofi Piesie TV family and affiliate research team. Please go subscribe to his channel over there. Again, it's Niger Valley Civilization. So please go subscribe over there to his YouTube channel if you hadn't subscribed. We're gonna try to get some more content over there. I'll be going over there and doing some stuff over there. I hope we all go over there and try to support our brother, help put some content on his channel if he, you know, if he allow it. Unless he's just trying to just debo his own channel. Don't want nobody on his channel. You don't want nobody. You don't want nobody on your channel, man.
Whenever you ready.
I mean, you do that with your channel, Kofi. You don't be inviting me.
Man, you gotta, man, you ain't got to have no damn invite. You know you welcome over there.
You don't send the link, nothing. I gotta ask for the link.
Man, I done put the links in there so many times, man. I done put it in there. I'm gonna start putting it in the back check in the Mossi back check. Yep. Cause we gonna go live today. But I know sometimes you be sleeping.
I'll probably just be knocked out.
Yeah, you be sleep sometimes. Yeah. Cause what time is it over there now? Where you at, Ben?
It is 12:38 a.m.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when we go live again today, you gonna be sleeping, Kofi. Yeah, you gonna be knocked out. Yeah, you're gonna be knocked out.
Hey man, what's this? You ain't looking that fresh today, man. Can't get to that barbershop, huh?
Man, hell no. It's bad over here, man. I've been cussing all weekend, man. I look bad, bro, but I just rough it out. And what the crazy part of it is, I used to cut hair, man. I used to cut hair, do designs, all kind of stuff. Now I can line my
get back into it.
Yeah, I ain't finna fool with it. I ain't finna try it. I'm gonna line my beard up probably tonight or something like that, but that's it, man. But getting a haircut, I'm just gonna have to wait, man, till they tell the barbers they can go back in the barbershop. But right now
Oh man.
Nice.
Kofi gonna have locks longer than mine by the time.
I was just thinking that.
That's what's finna happen.
Ain't going nowhere, man.
Yeah, that's what
ain't going nowhere.
Gonna be looking like a straight Himba real quick.
Yeah, red in and everything. Yeah. Is that Ocha?
Yeah. That's what's finna happen, man. That's what's finna happen. I like getting a haircut, man, but
hey man, me too, but I'm thugging it out.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do too.
Thugging it out, man.
Work out. I gotta teach y'all how to cut y'all own hair. Yeah, you gonna have to do that.
Man, I ain't doing that. I leave that to professional.
Yeah. But anyway, man, again, we appreciate y'all, man. If y'all ain't got nothing going on this evening, tune back in to we'll be on Kofi Piesie TV at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll be presenting a presentation. It's called COVID 19 in Africa and its possible effects. So I'll be talking about the coronavirus in Africa and some of the effects that has already taken place in Africa, dealing with their healthcare, dealing with their politics, dealing with their economics, dealing with food producers, dealing with buying food, and etc. So tune in to that. That should be an informative and informative presentation. And I'll be announcing something on that channel as well. We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks, but we hadn't actually said anything yet because we hadn't had any really concrete information. I mean, we were just getting everything together. Now we got all the stuff together, got all our ducks in a row, and everything is in full thrive. So we'll be making a big announcement on Kofi Piesie TV too. So stay tuned for that, man. Anybody else on the panel got anything, man, before I shut it down? I guess not, man. So peace and Black African power. We'll see y'all next time. Same place, same time. We out.